the weather came good, and we've got some various veg in. These have been in a couple of weeks now, and it's all looking healthy and growing away quite nicely. Not very little predation. We haven't used any crop covers, so I sort of thought I'd just do a quickie video just to sort of explain the polyculture. And in here, these 3 beds, they're on raised beds. They were prepared by black sheet mulching over the winter with a wood chip mulch, and took the black sheet off and planted directly into it. And so we've got mustards, lettuces on the edge with some various oriental greens. We've got purple mizuna here, vivid pak choi, ragged jack, red Russian kale, sugar snap peas. We've got miner's lettuce, winter purslane, loves these seasonal spring conditions. Down the middle I've got some of last year's leftover chicories that never got planted. They're in here for diversity. They'll grow up and flower with the peas. I see some mushrooms, some fungi growing there amongst it. They like the wood chip. There's also parsley. So it's all mixed up to create this polyculture, planted quite thickly. These are still young seedlings. Deer tongue lettuce there, and in a week or so they will crowd out any weed competition. So there's barely any weeding involved in this system. So far, not much evidence of slug activity. We've got some salad rocket coming here, more dragon's tongue with a miner's lettuce, prickly sow thistle, which is edible. Quite pleased with that. Inside the wilded propagating house, we've got so this bed down the side is completely naturalised and wild. This is our polytunnel, which we had to repair after the snow damage, so it's all patched up until we can get a new cover on. So in here I'm going to go through what we've got in the wild tunnel. This is smooth sow thistle here. All the thistles are edible in one way or another, but this one hasn't got any prickles, and it's got just a slightly bitter flavour. I'm going to eat that now. So the object in here is to create diversity, and it's got a whole range of plants, from teasel, wild cabbage, chrysanthemums, garlic, wild rocket, naturalised parsley, land cress, naturalised spinach. There's nettles in here. There's birdfoot trefoil there, nitrogen fixing birdfoot trefoil growing. And we've got the sorrel now established. Korean mint. It's got a lovely flavoured leaf. There's also a dock, so The process in here is to keep things I don't want, just tinkering by pulling and dropping. And the docks there, good deep mineral accumulator, pull and drop, and you create this thatch which annual weeds do not like and the predators do like. So it's a habitat for predators. Got lovage here, it's a lovely salad leaf, all in the space of a couple of meters so far. More sorrel. Down here we've got an old sunflower head. These we like to bring in for winter hibernation habitat for ladybirds and lacewings and all sorts of insects. Here we've got greater stitchwort. It's a beautiful, creates this beautiful mat. But the young spring buds and the flowers have got a lovely flavour. The insects like them. It's almost got a pea-like flavour, but it's not related to peas at all. So you'll find this in our salad mixes. Carrying on, there's perennial clovers in here, red clover, dandelion. We should all be eating a dandelion leaf every day, it's great for the gut. All these naturalised kales, they simply flower in the summer, drop the seeds and they will germinate where the seed fell. There's a few grasses here, I'm just pulling those. There's a dock. The lower brassica leaves, I just picked them off, and that is a food for the various snails that we have in here. Now they don't affect our healthy leaves, they only go for the older leaves which the plants withdraw their minerals from. I'm always tinkering, always pulling and dropping, creating that thatch. There's an ant's nest down here. Ants very good at controlling certain pests, including leaf miner, I think. Lovely parsley there, naturalised. More clovers, more brassica, more wild rocket. I've got some yarrow here. It's perennial. The wild rocket is perennial. Wild rocket. Who doesn't like wild rocket? It's absolutely delicious. There's chicories in here. Raspberries. Feverfew. All sorts of herbs. Down here the grass has got a little bit away, so I simply pull and drop it, work around spinach plants, and this just creates habitat for all the predators and feeds the soil, feeds the earthworms, increases the earthworm population. I've got a wild orchid. We've got orchids in here which come up in the summer. Got wild orchids. So this is our propagating tunnel, and down the centre we've got our trays of plants we raise to sell at the farm shop, and for the market garden, of course. We've got parsley here. This is our own wild kale, save that seed, and broad beans. Some lovely lettuces ready to go to the shop and out into the market garden. Some more of our kale broad bean packs. Some Monge peas here. We grow them in these modules and they simply pop out. There's no single use plastic involved. No peat. We make our own compost and we mix it with a bit of peat-free compost. There's some nice varieties of open pollinated lettuces that we get from Vital Seeds and the Real Seed Company. These are celery, which we've raised from our own self-seeded volunteers. So they will go out into the outside beds. We've got tomato plants coming on here. Some dragon's tongue mustard, some endive, various brassicas, more lettuce. So they start out, we prick them out into these cells, we germinate them in small modules, prick them out into here, and they can become ready to plant out. They grow on nice and clean. They have got little weed seeds in them. I'm not concerned about them. I consider them to be beneficial. Just, you'll notice all the moss growing on the edge of the staging here, even a few plants growing. Never ever wash your propagating equipment. When you sterilize it, you then open the door for all sorts of pathogens. We never get any die off with our plants, really healthy. The mosses and the microbes on the trays and on the staging host all beneficial microbes that create a barrier for pathogens. Got some leeks here, more lettuce, some more parsley here, some scarlet kale, curly kale. That's our propagating house.